Hello, and welcome to another episode of More Pomplamoose.
In today's episode, we're going to be talking about our greatest fears and comparing them to the greatest fears.
Of the general public.
Yep.
In America, the American general public.
Shit's gonna get dark.
So dark. Okay, I'll start with me. My number one greatest fear. Straight in, we're just going right into the dark stuff. Death. The thought of nothingness absolutely terrifies me. Not because of the nothingness, really, but because of all of the cool things that I'm gonna miss. Like when I hear a new album that comes out, I know I'm gonna miss so many great albums, and that makes me really sad and scared to miss so much great art that I know I'm gonna miss when I'm dead.
I think that's just called FOMO.
Yeah, it's FOMO. My fear of death is just really rooted in FOMO. Your turn.
One of my fears, they're not ranked really, but one of my fears is not doing enough with my life. Like just feeling like I've wasted my life at some point near the end. Like I haven't focused enough on family, or I haven't focused enough on work, or I haven't made enough out of my life. That's one of my great fears.
It's a real fear. Fortunately, you're doing pretty good on that one.
Thanks. I'm pretty successful.
Next fear for moi, gory stuff. I still close my eyes in rated R movies. I won't watch so many great TV shows because I just can't stand to see like the gross things that happen to people's faces.
Yeah. Can't.
No gore.
Can't watch anything with you.
Next.
I'm really afraid of suffering and cancer more than death. I would rather die than have to go through cancer or prolonged suffering. That's just my personal take on it. Having lived around it, I would just rather. I want it to end quickly. That's just me.
Yeah, interesting. I'm not going to talk about my own thoughts on that. Okay, number 3. Drowning.
Really?
Yeah, the thought, like, sometimes when I'm underwater and, like, somebody jumps in the pool and they land on me and I'm just like, oh, no! It's like, I get so scared. And it's, like, only for, like, a second I feel like I can't breathe and it's just, like, freak out mode. Okay,
oh my
your
gosh.
turn.
Mine is less funny than that. I get creeped out really easily. I'm afraid of the dark. I'm afraid of, more specifically, the demonic. Like, I can't watch super scary movies, and I hate being by myself at night.
Yeah.
Part of my Christian upbringing, maybe. Freaky experiences growing up. I don't know. I just don't like it.
Okay, I got a new one. I guess this is sort of like my first one. This one is a little more specific than death. Death by plane. That is more specific than death. My fear of flying, I let affect my life for a very long time.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say it. I'm letting it all hang out. I went to a 1.5 years of therapy. I had to go to a cognitive behavioral therapist to get over my fear of flying so I could get back on an airplane.
And it's worked really well.
I fly I probably take 2 flights a month, maybe more now.
Yeah, just for fun. He just gets on a plane and it's just like, not going anywhere. Just want to get on this thing.
Not that. But I will say, every one of them is still, it's not that it's not scary anymore. I know it's so irrational, but it's still scary. It's just, I figured out a way to do it anyway.
Yeah.
And if you're more interested in that, actually, leave some comments and I'll answer comments about that process, because I learned a lot in that process. And it's a good outcome, I think.
I feel like it's so important to not give in to your fears.
Yeah.
It's just so important to just sort of be like, I'm going to trudge ahead anyways.
Yeah.
Okay, another one for me, and for probably all women, is the fear of being attacked by another man. Another man? By being attacked by a man.
Is there something you haven't told us, Natalie?
I feel like guys don't realize what an inherent threat they are to women. Like, if you're just walking down the street and a girl sees you, she will have like a split second where she thinks, that's a guy, he could potentially hurt me. There's like a moment when anytime you're walking, and no guy realizes that. They're just kind of like, because they're not a threat to themselves. They're not thinking like, I could pose a threat.
I'm so paranoid that when I'm walking down the street and I see any movement out of any area of my field of vision, I'm like, ugh! Like that's my level. Like I will often walk in the middle of the street where it's more light and just like look at the sidewalk and be like, yeah, there's probably a guy behind there. Okay, my last one. Fifth fear. Artificial intelligence. So, I'm not super afraid of it being evil. I'm afraid of people making mistakes and
too much power.
I'm afraid of humans making mistakes.
And it being irreparable.
And
because
it being
happens, the repercussions would be too fast.
Yeah, and by artificial intelligence, I don't mean like robots walking around that are
He's
like
afraid
policing.
of iRobot. That's
No,
what he's
not afraid of that. I'm afraid of like drone strikes on innocent civilians because the drone messes up. That kind of like that
or
is,
like nanotechnology.
That's really scary stuff.
Really scary.
And I think seriously, like, yeah, I'm a little scared of it.
Yeah, that's my fifth fear too. Falls into the category of like where the world is headed.
Right. Yeah. Oh my god.
We can't control this.
What's your last one?
That's it. That was
that's
it.
where
that
the world
was
is
where
headed.
the world is headed. So how do we compare it to
Okay, here are
the Chapman University survey on American fears?
Yep, Chapman University surveyed the American public, and here are the top 5 fears according to the results of that survey. Number 1, public speaking.
Man, I love that. I think that's amazing. Clearly not our number 1 fear.
Not our number 1 fear. So we are okay. That's one fail.
Definitely.
2, heights. I would have put that in there for me, except
Really?
well, because I am scared of heights. But like, stack it up to death and artificial intelligence. It was like, okay, that one's in the bag.
Yeah, no, I'd compare that more to like a fear of spiders or something like that.
Okay, which brings us to the 3rd fear: bugs, snakes, and other animals. Bugs like spiders. Yep, legitimate fear.
These seem pretty petty so far. I'm not gonna lie.
Number
These
4?
seem less scary than our things.
Drowning.
Really?
Drowning, number 4.
Ah.
Right on.
It's interesting that like death is a subject isn't on there, just like a specific type of death is what people are afraid of.
Yeah, drowning would just
Does that mean
suck.
that most people aren't really afraid of death? Is that what that means?
Well,
that it's only if like, if I'm burned at the stake, that sucks.
Number 5 is blood and needles, not death. Not super worried about that one. Blood, gore, I kind of feel that one a little bit.
Yeah, no, definitely. I feel like you have kind of that on your list.
There you go, top 5 fears. Me, Natalie, the American public. Thank you for watching more Pomplamoose. We will see you next time.
Don't be afraid.
Goodbye.